Today's video is all about everybody's favourite football manager topic, Wonderkids. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Frankly FM84 and in today's video we're going to be covering one of the hottest topics in Football Manager, Wonderkids. Everybody loves a Wonderkid, right? Whether you need somebody to plug a gap or a player to develop across the span of a couple of seasons, everybody loves going out and finding that next big thing. So before we jump on into the list today, just a quick reminder that if you're enjoying the content on the channel so far, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Helps the channel out massively. Give it a thumbs up if you sign any of these kids and they come along and help you improve your team. And if you've got any comments or you want to add to the list or you want me to cover a player in the future, don't forget to drop them in the box down below and I'll try and get through as many of those as I can. Right then, let's not mess around in this one. Let's get straight into number one. The first player on my list is going to be a goalkeeper. He is Gabriel Brazao. He plays currently for Real Oviedo and he's on loan there from Inter Milan. He starts the game as a 19-year-old who is valued at £300,000. He stands 6'4" as a goalkeeper, which is a decent enough height. He has a current ability at the start of the game of 105. And you can see, looking at the screen, that his base stats are something you can really build upon if you develop him well. In terms of his goalkeeping abilities, he has a good aerial reach, good kicking, good one-on-ones, good reflexes, and he does have a bit of a punching and rushing out tendency, but those are something that don't really hold goalkeepers back in the game. In terms of his mentals, you've got anticipation, composure, concentration, determination, teamwork and work rate all scoring highly. In terms of his physicals, he has good agility, good jumping reach, stamina, natural fitness and balance are all good too. One thing that might hold him back is his pace for rushing off of the line. Getting to that forward might be a little slow at 9, and also strength might hold him back a little bit because he might be bullied off of corners and set pieces. But other than that, he really starts the game out as a good building block for you to develop. So what we're going to do is jump 4 years into the future and see how he develops in 2024. So you can now see that Gabriel Brazeau's stats have really exploded. He is now a 23-year-old goalkeeper who plays for Lazio. He's valued at £5.75 million and his current ability has gone up to 137. His stats everywhere across the board have really developed. He has an aerial reach of 15, he has one-on-ones of 16, he has reflexes of 15 and throwing of 14. Then in terms of his mentals now, anticipation, bravery, composure, his decisions are good at 13, determination is high, his work rate and teamwork are still good. And then in terms of his physicals, where we said he might be lacking a little bit, his pace has now picked up to 11, which isn't the best still, but it's an improvement on 9. And his strength has gone up to 12 to stop him being bullied from the corners and set pieces. In terms of his jumping reach, that's up to 17. So for a 6'4" goalkeeper now, he's going to be commanding the area from set pieces. If we have a little look at his stats across the years, he did spend some time out on loan at other clubs. So he went to St. Polten and didn't play there. He went to Cagliari and didn't play there. He then ended up at Lazio for £3.3 million. So to see his development come on so well is pretty amazing considering he hasn't played a lot of first team football. This is a player, I believe, who you can plug into your team and have as your starting goalkeeper for a very long time. And he doesn't even cost that much money at the start of the game. The next player on my list is a Croatian defender who can play all across the back line. His name is Bosko Sutalo and he starts the game at Atalanta. He's 20 years of age, stands at 6'2", which is a good size for a defender, valued at £3 million and has already been capped 5 times by the Croatian under-21s. When you look at his stats, he has a good starting base for a defender with heading, marking, passing, tackling and technique all scoring highly. When you look at his mental attributes, he has good aggression, anticipation and bravery. His composure, concentration, determination, positioning, teamwork, vision and work rate all score highly too. And in terms of his physicals, he has a good acceleration, agility, he has good jumping reach, his strength is good, he won't be bullied off the ball easily by defenders. and you can see that he should develop into a starting centre-back at any club in Europe. So when we jump forward to 2024 and have a look at his stats, that is pretty much an accurate description. He's now 24 years of age and he's rated at 139 in terms of current ability. He still has very good stats in terms of his technicals. His mentals have all picked up as well, and he's playing consistently at a good level. His physicals all put him in good stead to be a solid centre-back for any team. When we have a little look at his breakdown of stats across his playing campaigns, he hasn't actually had a lot of football, and his average ratings don't say that he's as brilliant as he looks. But when you look at the stats and look at the way that he's developing, you can tell that you can plug him into your defence and he will be able to make a big difference straight away. Next up on our list is Foresto Vera. He is a 20-year-old defensive midfielder or central midfielder who plays for Argentinos Juniors in Argentina. He is 5'10", so an average height for a midfielder. He's been capped 14 times by the Argentinian under-20s, so he's clearly a player with lots of potential. He starts the game with a current ability of 125. And when we look at his stats, you can see why he's so highly rated. He has good dribbling, first touch, his free kick taking, heading, long shots, marking, passing, tackling and technique all stand out. In terms of his mentals, there's a little bit of work to be done in some areas, but he has good anticipation, bravery, composure, positioning, teamwork, vision and work rate. And in his physicals, he's still really got to mature as a footballer, but he has good acceleration, agility, natural fitness, stamina and strength. So we're going to jump 4 years into the future and find out how he gets on. So we come back and he's playing for Porto now, and you could see that this is another player whose stats have exploded. He is a current ability player now of 148 in 2024, and he's 24 years of age. He has now been capped 13 times by Argentina's national team, and you can see that he's now a brilliant defensive midfielder or midfielder for the centre of your team. He has good dribbling, his first touch is fantastic, free kick taking, his long shots are up there with 16, marking's 14, passing, tackling, technique. In terms of his mentals, he's now got 11 for aggression, 16 for anticipation, 16 for composure, positioning is 16, vision is 16, and the other stats are all developing nicely too. In terms of his physicals, he's bulked out quite a bit with acceleration, agility, balance. Natural fitness is quite good, and his strength is going to ensure that he doesn't get shrugged off the ball in the middle of the park. When we look at his playing time, you can see that he has plugged into Porto's first team and is performing quite well on a weekly basis. In his last campaign before this was taken, he had 24 appearances with 5 assists, 1 player of the match, and for a defensive midfielder, that is sound. I think this is a player that you can pick up and develop for your team for quite cheap, and he will turn into a world beater for you. The next player on my list is Andre Almeida. He is an attacking midfielder or central midfielder who plays for Vitor Guimarães in Portugal. You can see he's a 20-year-old midfielder who stands at 5'8". Hasn't been yet capped by any of the national teams, but I think that will come. And he's valued at £1.3 million at the start of the game. When we look at his attributes, he isn't fantastic. He has good dribbling, first touch, passing, penalty taking and technique. In terms of his mentals, he has good anticipation, bravery, composure, concentration, decisions. He has good off the ball, vision, work rate and teamwork all help him to develop as well. And in terms of his physicals, he has good acceleration, agility, pace, stamina. The only downside to him is that scoring an 8 for strength means that he might get shrugged off the ball quite easily, but hopefully he can be a little magician in the middle of the field. Current ability of 122, and I think that when we jump forward 4 years time, that will develop quite brilliantly. So as we said, we are now looking at him as a Tottenham player 4 years into the future. His current ability is shot up to 143. He's 24 years of age and has still not been capped by the Portuguese full national side, but he has become an under-21 international. as he has been developing, and you can see that his stats have started to increase everywhere as well. So he has good dribbling, he has good first touch, long shots, passing and technique have really risen. In terms of his mentals, he now makes good decisions, he has good vision, his teamwork, work rate, off the ball, determination are all scoring highly, and his physicals have really developed too. His acceleration, his agility, his balance, natural fitness, his pace. Still only scores 10 for strength, but a player that rates 143 in the middle of the park, he's going to be providing you with a lot of assists. When we look at his playing time and how he's got to there, you can see that he has been playing for Tottenham, but he hasn't been playing fantastically well. So his development came as a way of going to Tottenham, then out on loan to Maritimo. He then went to Basel in Switzerland, then come back to Tottenham and has been a regular in their first team. So I think this is a player that you can take on early in the game, develop him the way you want him, and he will come good for any team. The final player on my list is a player that I think a lot of you will know well. His name is Brenner. He plays for Cincinnati now in the MLS, having moved from his native Brazil, and he is a 20-year-old striker. Valued at £3.9 million at the start of the game, his current ability starts at 131, and I think he's only going to get better with development. He hasn't been capped by the Brazilian national teams, which is quite a surprise, considering that he starts the game off as a solid striker anyway. He starts with good technicals of dribbling, finishing, first touch, penalty taking and technique. His mentals are all solid, scoring highly in determination and off the ball. His work rate, vision and teamwork are all good. In terms of his physicals, his acceleration and pace jump out, his natural fitness is good, his stamina is good. Again, scoring only 10 for strength means that he might get shrugged off the ball by defenders slightly, but that's only if they can catch him. So we're going to jump 4 years into the future, and you can see he now plays for Leicester City in the Premier League. His current ability has gone to 159, and he's a player who explodes as time goes on. He is still not capped by any of the Brazilian national teams, but he's now valued at a whopping £48 million, and his stats are improving everywhere. So for his technicals now, he has dribbling of 16, finishing of 16, first touch of 15. His heading is good, his passing, his penalty taking, his technique is brilliant. When you look at his mentals, they're still developing with his off the ball, vision, work rate, composure. His physicals, he has 16 for acceleration, 15 for pace, 16 for natural fitness. His agility is 17, and his strength has actually bulked up. As he's matured as a footballer, he has got a lot stronger and now can put up a good fight against defenders, certainly if he's playing in the Premier League. So I think he looks a wonderful player. And when we look at his goal scoring record in the Premier League, you can see that he actually moved to Fulham first. He had a good first season at Fulham where he scored 13 in 29. Then he moved to Leicester for 25 million, scoring 18 in 37 in his first season, 17 in 31 in his second season. And although those average ratings of 6.84, 6.87 and 6.89 don't look spectacular, you can see that he's still a young player who's developing. And I think over time he will get even better as he moves into his prime years. Are you going to take the plunge and have a go at signing Brenner? I think he'll be well worth your money. So then that rounds out my 5 Wonderkids to sign at the start of any save in Football Manager. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button too, it'll help the channel out so much. If you've got any comments, or as I said earlier on in the video, you want to recommend any players for me to look at or include in the next videos, leave them in the comments section down below. But for this video, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.